Maheshwari, chapter 18, Moksha Sannyas Yoga, verse number 45, and we are looking at the verse says, why the sound is coming from here? स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु. He says that man attains to perfection by being devoted to his own duty. Here now, how one achieves perfection by being intent upon one's duty, and we saw in the previous few verses, we saw what were the duties of a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, Brahmin, an intelligent, wise person who is committed to the truth, walking towards the truth, sitting in truth, acting in truth, wanting to realize the truth. That is his only goal. So that is a Brahmin in a very general term. Then Kshatriya is a leader, he is an organizer, he is a manager, he knows how to manage all the other three three types of people. Because what are the four? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Vaishya are the business people and Shudra are the workers. So how to manage all these so that the society keeps functioning? And we talked about it in detail last time. Now he is saying here, O Arjuna, just as the organs we have done till 890, we have to start from 890 first, but I'll just read it so we have so we begin the thought from this verse. O intelligent Arjuna, just as the organs have their proper objects such as sound, so these different duties are proper for the four castes. Very simple. Each one is naturally inclined to work in a particular way. Some people are inclined to be carpenters, some people are inclined to be scientists, some people are inclined to be businessmen, some are natural leaders, isn't it? See? So it is better to do one's own duty. That's what he is saying, that so these different duties are proper for the four castes. Just as example was taken of rainwater, when it falls into a stream, the stream takes it to a river, and the river's goal is to the ocean. Do we have that clarity that we started as a drop, as a sperm, went into the womb, started off, came into this river of life, where initially we were bachelor, then we become grahastha, but are we moving towards the ocean? Are we moving towards the expansion of our mind, personality? Are we moving towards all inclusivity? Are we moving towards expanded consciousness? If that is not the goal in our life, we will suffer, we will have miseries and sorrow. But when we click into, if the goal is clear, then that we have to be emancipated, if we have to reach emancipation or get emancipation, salvation, liberation, then what we do is not important. What we do is not important. Then, because otherwise, majority, I want the job of that manager. I want the job of the CEO. Are you qualified for the CEO? No. What are you doing? I am living on dole. And you want a job of CEO. How is it possible? Many people tell us, Swamiji, your life is good, you don't do anything. Food comes, give lectures all the time, travel here and there, and people take you. I said, अच्छा, आके बैठ, फिर पता चलेगा पैंट कैसे पीली होती है. It sounds very beautiful from outside. The CEO's job, he is not doing anything, he comes for 2 hours at work, whole day he is in the meeting, he drinks tea and coffee, gives few lectures, has a management meeting, and he goes and he gets millions of dollars as salary. People talk like this, isn't it? But they don't understand what has taken him to get to that point, responsibilities are there, isn't it? So, do we know, just like the drop, if he complains why I'm going into a stream, where is stream taking me? I don't know, oh my God, help me, help me, help me. Stream goes into the river. That drop is in the river. Oh, I'm in a bigger stream now. Oh, they call it river. My God, now there is more competition, more waves, more water. What do I do? But the goal of the river is very clear, to merge into the infinite ocean. Are we clear that our purpose of life is to merge into the infinite consciousness? With that picture in the background, we continue to function in life. And when we function in life, then it does not matter where life has placed us. Some are born rich, some are born with a golden spoon, some are born with no spoon. It's okay. See, some are born with things just happen in their life, success keeps coming, others try very hard, still it doesn't come. Why? Because they are not in tune with their own nature, they are not in tune with their own duties. They are trying to copy someone else to get to that point. Therefore, the frustration, therefore, the agitation in the mind, which leads to miseries and sorrow. So that's what he is telling with this example. In the same way, the performance of proper actions according to the caste, varna, and the stage of life, ashrama, becomes the performer, as a fair complexion becomes a handsome person. Please therefore fix your mind on performing your natural duties as laid down by the scriptures. See, everyone, I was also born a Shudra. Everyone is born a Shudra. I told you what the definition. Who is a Shudra? Who is totally dependent on others. Isn't it? Then, as I studied and I worked, I became, got, what do you call, managerial positions when I was working. So, became a Kshatriya. But throughout that journey, I was earning more and more. So, where was my attention? On getting more money. So, I was managing money also. So, Vaishya also. So I should go the other way around. I'm going from top to bottom. Shudra, Vaishya. When we come into youth, we are besotted with money. Before we find a girlfriend, we are interested in money. Vaishya. Where do I get? Do I get it from Dole? Do I get it from here? Do I get it from that work? Nowadays here, from 14, 15, they start working in takeaway shops, this, that. They want to be free. They want to have their pocket money. Money is important. Then from that, as money comes, as education is complete, you get a good job. As you grow higher, what happens? You come to a responsible position. But then we stop there. We go from one responsible position to the next. We go from one responsible position to the next. Yesterday only someone came. They brought rasmalai. Swamiji, are you at home? I had gone for a walk. Not yesterday, day before yesterday. I said, yeah, I'm just reaching. So she came, brought, किस बात के लिए भी rasmalai? No, I have resigned my job from one particular place and now I got a position of a director in a government department. Director of Finance. Fantastic. Why? That is her, what do you call, that is how she measures success. Now, what is under her as a director? The entire finance of that particular department, whatever that ministry is, I don't know. See? But as we are going through all this, is our attention on the ultimate goal? See? So, from Brahmacharya, Varna, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. As Brahmacharya, as a child, as a teenage, you are only studying, you are not earning much. Once you start earning, that is your Grahastha. But are we stuck in the cycle of Grahastha or are we preparing to let it all go. Why? Because our attention is on the what? Liberation, on expansion of the consciousness. For expansion of the consciousness, I have to move out of survivalism. Money is survivalism. I have to move out of, let go of satisfying my desires through possessions, through relations. I have to move out of it. That is vanaprastha. Did we move through that? Yes, we went through it. Okay, I did not get married. That's okay. But I went out from home, went to the ashram. See? Live 25 years without earning money. Live, try. See how it feels. Experiment in life. It's a grand experiment. So are we? So now, as a sannyasi, am I just caught up in only teaching? Is that my only goal? Or all this teaching is leading to expanded consciousness? Am I subjective enough when I am talking? When scriptures are being propounded upon? Do I do my practices on a daily basis so that I do not forget the goal? Am I continuously applying myself when I am all by myself, or I am in a satsang? Am I continuously moving towards the infinite? Are all my, if my attention is on that infinite, automatically what is natural for me will present itself in front of me. For me, talking is not hard. Remembering is hard for me. Talking is not hard. I can't remember anything. Dementia, no. Blessing. Why? You have to forget the past. You have to forget the future. You have to live in the present. Coming there. Rather than make it into a problem, you are continuously, if you are meditating during the day, you are chanting, you are contemplating, you are doing your japa and you are doing satsang. Where is the time for ruminating and brooding over the past? No time. And slowly, when no attention is being given to the past, it slowly fades away. That is not a disease. It is healthy. If you keep thinking about the past, slowly it will come back to you. I choose not to. I choose not to. So here, when we are performing actions according to our varna and ashram. Varna, Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, ashram, brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha and sannyas. So, as a grahastha, you are supposed to earn wealth. You get into sannyas and suddenly you get a brainwave. I must earn wealth, build ashrams, collect money. Gone story. Story gone, over. And you see this happening in so many places, isn't it? Just as one should get one's jewel tested by a jeweler, one should know one's own duty by reference to the scriptures. How do you come to know whether you are in the right path, doing what is the right for you? Two places. Here it says, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says one thing, but I'll say two places. One is the scriptures, second is a saint or a sage. If he tells you something, just follow that. Otherwise, read the scriptures, come to satsang, listen to scriptures. You will keep fine-tuning yourself as you move through the satsangs. Just as it is happening right now. Even if one's vision is good, it is of no avail in the dark without lamplight. If one does not know which way to go, of what use are the legs to him? If you don't know where to go, you have a car, forget about legs also. If you have a car, you don't know what your destination is. And every person on the way you are saying, hey, you know where 64 Strickland Drive is? He says, yeah, turn left, go right. Then you go right, again you forget. He said left, right, or right, left. So then you ask him, he says, yeah, yeah, go straight and then make a U-turn and come back here. And you think it's a direction. That stupid idiot only told you to come back to where you started from. See, whom are you asking? So if we don't know where to go, do we have the GPS? Are we logged onto what is GPS? God positioning system. So are we logged onto it? Do we have the path? And every time life takes us this way or that way, just like when we are driving, if we change the route, the GPS automatically realigns itself and finds the shortest route from whatever deviation you have taken due to distraction, due to roadblocks, due to broken road, due to floods. It will again realign itself and take you to the destination by the shortest possible route. Are we focused on the divine in our life? Are we clear about our goal? So that whatever the push and pull in life come, again every moment, with every thought, with every action, with every day, with every breath, we are continuously, it's a negotiation. Life is a traffic, continuously traffic is coming to you by way of thoughts, emotions, concepts, ideas, experiences, knowledge, interactions, memories, aspirations, desires, continuously the traffic is coming and you have to negotiate through it and find the shortest possible route to get to the destination. But that path will be revealed to you only if we are focused on the destination. See how beautiful it is? But this we forget. We forget that, and everything in the world becomes more important, and we keep going round and round and round and round, and we forget that we have to reach the God, we have to reach the self. Till here we did in our last class. Now 891st. मनौनि ज्ञाति वशे साचारु सहज असेजो अधिकारु तो आपुलिया शास्त्रे गोचरू आपण कीजे मग धरी चाची ठेवा घरी के धरी मग घरी चाची ठेवा जेवी डोळ्या दावी दिवा तरी घेता काय पांडवा आढळू असे तैसे स्वभावे भागा आले वरी शास्त्रे खरे केले ते विहित जो आपुले आचरेगा परी आळसू सांडुनी फळकाम दवडुनी आंगे जीवे मांडुनी तेथेची भरू वोधी पंडिले पाणी वोधी पडिले पाणी नेणे आनानी वाहणी तैसा जाय आचरणी व्यवस्थौनी. He says, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, therefore, one must know by reference to the scriptures what duty is proper for him according to his caste. This is not given in the Upanishads. This is given in Manusmriti and other texts, the Dharma Shastra. So, but whatever Gita has explained, it is enough. If you think too much, you will always misjudge yourself. We are overconfident. I think I am a Brahmin. Or I am a Kshatriya. Rather than you may have some ballpark ideas about yourself, if you stand apart and assess your life, but best way is you hold on to the Lord, and automatically it will start becoming clear what you need to do in life, what is your calling, what is your swabhav, means what is your natural inclination will automatically present itself to you, because you will be like fish to water with it. till age 32. Why? Working for money, frustrated. Always question of survival, survival. But every night I used to sit and contemplate and meditate 3 times a day. Do japa every day. But in that process, one day I used to write down whatever my thoughts were coming. If I have a question, I will write down. Where am I bloody going wrong? Why am it is not clicking? And what should click? That also I didn't know. But I knew, despite that I was not in sync with nature. So where am I going wrong? I am enjoying the work because I have to, whatever I am doing, I must do it with joy. But I know it is not my calling because this passion, I know it's not going to, inner feeling, you know, it is not going to last. I am not going to continue with this for long. Then what next? What next? Am I going to sit and live on dole? Am I going to sit and live off my parents? Am I going to sit and just be a lazy bugger? What? You hold on to the Lord, He reveals the path. He, as I have told you, GPS, He realigns you. He shows you the path. Oh, follow this. And when He shows you follow this, normally GPS is what? You have to drive the car. But now automatic cars are coming. GPS is on and the car is automatically taking you along. You don't have to do anything. What do you do? Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You do your japa in the car. You don't need to use your hands. You don't need to press the accelerator. You don't need to press the brake. You don't need to make turns. No indicator, nothing. You sit and do japa. The vehicle. This is the vehicle. Mind is the vehicle. On one side, the mind is doing the japa, remembering the Lord with love in the heart, in the antakaran. Automatically, the path will be revealed and the vehicle will go in that. Where are we? Here he says, therefore one must know by reference to the scriptures what duty is proper for him according to his caste. Caste meaning where he is placed in life. If the treasure in the house is shown by the lamplight, what problem is there in securing it? If the treasure is the emancipation, salvation, liberation, is it outside? Is it outside? Can you find liberation in an ashram? Can you find liberation in the Himalayas? Can you find liberation in a temple? Can you find liberation outside this body? Can you find liberation by going anywhere? No. If that treasure of liberation is within, when he is saying, if the treasure is within the house and you have a lamp and the lamp reveals the treasure, what's the harm? The treasure is within this. Think about it. Think about what is the lamp? Your attention on the divine is the lamp. Let it reveal the divine. Where's the problem? You don't have to run away anywhere to find it. In the same way, he performs his prescribed duties that have fallen to his lot and have the sanction of the scriptures. So, when we are on our way, we are living our life, whatever is coming in our path, we must perform it with inspiration, provided they have the sanction of the scriptures. Meaning, if I am a sannyasi, I am giving lectures allowed. Build ashrams not allowed. Start institutions not allowed. Collect money not allowed. Become angry not allowed. Forgiveness allowed. Empathy allowed. Compassion allowed. Compete with them. Oh, they are wearing Gucci pants. I will also get Gucci pants. Oh, he is wearing what? Kathmandu jacket. I will also get a Kathmandu jacket. Oh, this house, I will also buy something like this. Sannyasi is not meant to do all this. This is what it means by sanction of the scriptures. The sannyasi has certain parameters within which he must function. Who is a sannyasi? A renunciate. Similarly, a student has his parameters, the grahastha, the family person has his parameters, his duties, and the vanaprastha, he has his parameters. So in this manner, he performs his prescribed duties according to where you find yourself, you perform your duties. See? He is then engrossed in the performance of these duties, giving up lassitude and renouncing the fruit of action. Lassitude means laziness. He is involved, he is engrossed. Why he is engrossed? Like a wife who is in love with her husband and waiting for the husband to come. She is at home, she is doing all that. Why? Out of the love for the husband. She is keeping her neat, clean, ready. When the husband comes, he finds a pleasing wife. The house is clean. Just an example. Nowadays, it's not the reality. In the modern kid, it's not the reality. Not clean. So why? Because she loves, and it is not a burden for her. But for others, it is a burden. See? It is hard slog to do anything. Why? Lazy. No goal in front. So here he says, such a person is then engrossed in his duties, in the performance of these duties, and how he must perform. See, engrossment in the performing the duties, you can get involved, you can be at one ment with the work that you are doing only if you are working with inspiration. Otherwise, it's not possible. Otherwise, you are continuously cringing. I don't want to do this. Why should I do this? Why always complaining? Engrossment happens only when you are functioning with inspiration. So he says, performance of these duties, giving up laziness and renouncing the fruit of action. This comes again to the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyevadikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. Our right is only to perform actions. That's what he's saying. How do you perform actions? With engrossment, with inspiration, doing what is coming to you to be done naturally. And how you do it? Without expecting a result. Your right is only to act, to perform. Your right is not to see the results. For example, my speaking is an action. Action is taking place right now. So my right is what? My duty is what? Not right, duty. What is my duty? Bolte raho. Whether someone listens or doesn't listen, keep speaking. Did you understand? Who cares, man? If someone understood, whether they understand, don't understand. My job is keep speaking. I'm taking But when we are speaking, when the teacher is speaking, if he is speaking with inspiration, if he is speaking with at one ment, he is in tune with naturally what is coming to as the speech. It has to be beneficial. Remember, activity also gives a result, karma also gives a result. The result which karma gives, which is activity with ownership, is binding. Whereas activity which when it gives result, it is not binding. Why? There is no doer there. Activity is just happening. So here, activity is just happening. It is not binding. How many people I have confused? It is not binding at all. start. If you get the benefit, you are available. See? But this I must be very clear as a speaker that my speech is not making a dent in this creation. No, but you are doing such a yeoman service. You must feel that way towards the teacher. You must feel that way towards the scriptures. But when you function in your life, you must also have the same attitude that I am having. That whatever I am doing in my life, naturally, which is expressing whatever life is presenting me, I am going to deal with it 100% with inspiration, with love. But the world doesn't need me. I am doing it for my purification. I am doing it for my purification. I am doing it for the expansion of the mind. I am doing it so that my mind becomes more inclusive. That inclusivity will happen only when it gets purified. Otherwise it will not happen. For that, this first step, do not covet any result. Perform with inspiration, but do not expect any result. Do not have your attention on the results. Such a person keeps performing. What's next? What's next? What's next? Arey, the result to dekh le kya ho raha hai? Who cares, man? What's next? What's next? Keep going. Just as water flowing in a stream does not go any other way, so his actions are in accordance with the scriptures. When we are inspired and when our attention is on the divine, we are clear of the goal that we are pursuing, which is expanded consciousness or oneness with consciousness, then we are in that, then the water drop will not complain because he knows I am in the river. The river's destination is only one, which is to reach the ocean. If I stop fighting the flow of the river, I will very quickly merge into the ocean, isn't it? But if I keep fighting like a sturgeon fish, go against the current, I'll get exhausted. And that's what we do. What is our going against the current? Complaints, judgments, biasness, acceptance of duality, attachment to relations and possessions, memories, future desires, expectations, anxieties, phobias, security. All these are ways by which we are not flowing with life. These are all the ways by which we are not flowing with life. Does it mean we have to stop earning wealth? We have to stop living with family? We have to stop buying things that are required for the home? No. But do it without complaint. Do it with inspiration. And do it with a sense of dispassion inside. If you are doing it with attention on the ultimate goal, if your goal is clear, you are living 110% at this very moment without expecting any result, it will lead to purification. That purification expresses as dispassion towards everything. See, this is the technology that is being presented here. All you have to do is start practicing. Not just merely listen. We have to start practicing in life. Continuing in 896th verse, where are we? 8-9. Arjuna zo yapari te vihita karma swaye kari to mokshacha ailadwari aitha hoya se akarna ani nishiddha नवचेची काही संबंधा म्हणवनी भावा विरुद्धा सुकला तो आणि काम्य कर्माकडे न परतेची झेथ कोडे तेथ चंदनाचे ही खोडे न लेची तो येर नित्य कर्म तव फळ त्यागे वेचिले सर्व म्हणवनी मोक्षाची शिव ठाकूला हे ऐसे नि शुभाशुभी संसारी सांडिला तो अवधारी वैराग्य मोक्ष द्वारी उभा ठाके. Coming to the same point, what I told you about Vairagya, it is a natural progression to that point. So the last line, Vairagya Moksha Dwari Ubhathake. This, what we have been just speaking, if you practice that, it will bring you to the point of Vairagya. Vairagya brings you to the threshold of the truth. What is that? Viveka. It brings you to Viveka. Here he says, he who performs the prescribed actions acquires non-attachment. See now how many types of actions are there in Purva Mimamsa, one of the philosophies. There are six philosophies. Nyaya, Purva Mimamsa, Sankhya, etc. So in that, or in Bhagavad Gita also it came, in one of the Upanishads also it came. So what are the four types of karma? There is Nitya karma, there is Naimittika karma, that is Kamya karma, and there is Nishiddha karma. Nitya karma is daily duties that you have to do. What is the daily duty you have to do? Get up early morning before sunrise. Do you get up? No. Oh, there itself you have gone. Then what do? Brush your teeth, go to toilet, take shower. Quickly, not 2 hours, 1 hour. 15-20 minutes, finish it off. Why so quickly? So that you can spend more time studying Bhagavad Gita or doing japa or doing meditation. That early morning time is the best time for that. But what do? We spend 45 minutes under the hot water shower. Bliss. We want that bliss. Then we have a heavy breakfast and then we are ready to sleep again. Oh yeah, our early morning break is over. So Nitya Karma is what those things that we should do on a daily basis. Take 2 showers every day. 2 minutes. All you need to. You will see how fresh you become after that. Brush your teeth twice every day, morning, night. Eat 1 or 2 meals a day, not 3, 4, 5, 6 meals a day. And do whatever else you have decided how your life is unfolding. You do that. Naimittika. What else? Nitya also. After shower, wear clothes. That is also duty. Fresh clothes every day. Not, tomorrow morning I don't know if I'll get time. We all have gone through those times. So we sleep in the shirt and pant in bed and get up in the morning and straight to work. Put some spray. No. Fresh clothes. Naimittika, special duties that you have to perform throughout your life. Like before the child, when the child is conceived, that time there are some duties that the mother must go through. Then the child is born, it goes through, then Janeu, then marriage, then when he goes into the school or university, at that time, all those different, there was 16 samskaras I think, isn't it? How many? I don't know, I didn't go through them. Modern times, our parents didn't know, or they were working, they didn't have the time, whatever. Maybe it was not required because it must have happened in last life. Enough. Fast forward. Fast forward. So, Naimittika karma. What is the third type of karma? Kamya karma. Karma that is prompted by desires. That also makes you act in life. Desires make you act in life. So Nitya, there is no escape. You have to do them every day. Naimittika, we must try and follow that. Those are like tomorrow morning I have to go to someone's marriage. Now the boy is wife is Keralite. In Kerala, the marriage is done in 5 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes is too long. Only I went to Guruvayur to one boy's marriage. Hooray, 3 minutes it was over. All they do is they bring the lamp. The girl does the puja of the man does the arti of the girl. They put the mala around their neck, and I gave the ring. So he put the ring to the girl, and then from they had already given me the Mangal Sutra, so I put the Mangal Sutra after some mantra, put it in his hand. He put the Mangal Sutra, that sign of marriage, that she's married now. So he put it around her neck. Marriage over. No mantras, nothing. This is Kerala marriage, and tomorrow they want a long marriage. They say no, we do it in 5 minutes. So compromise, 1 hour marriage. You see, there is the funny side of life. Different customs in different parts of the country. So here we say, where are we? Then he does. He who performs his prescribed actions, the one who is natural, who is clicked into his natural activity, not trying to copy someone else, not trying to be a Swami, or I'm not trying to be an IT engineer. Then what happens? And what we told before, that he is performing with inspiration without expecting a result. Very quickly he acquires non-attachment. Non-attachment to what? Activities will continue to be performed, but there will be no attachment to the activity, which is an entrance to emancipation. Detachment is the gateway to realization. What will detachment lead to? When we say we do not expect a result, what does it lead to? I have explained this before. Our mind only goes, the thoughts that come in the mind are only about past or future. When you do not expect a result, your attention is taken away from the future, isn't it? And when you keep thinking of future while performing at this moment, what will happen? You cannot perform 100%. When you cannot perform 100% and your attention at this moment is only about the result, it leads to anxiety, which leads to panic. So if our attention is only on performing and not on the results, what is happening? The future is slowly receding from our mind. The thoughts on account of future, what if, hope, aspirations, all that is slowly dissolving, melting away. That is what is being told here. That then he does, and when as that melts away, a higher reality becomes available to you. You become even more integrated. When you become more integrated, automatically the GPS is very clear. The destination is clear and the path is clear. There's no doubt there. Then what happens? Then he does not get involved in either prescribed or prohibited actions, and so is freed from mundane existence. What is prescribed? Nitya Namittika. What is prohibited? Kamya and Nishiddha. Kamya is desire prompted activities, and Nishiddha is forbidden activities. So neither he is interested in doing what is required to be done, what should be done, nor he is interested in what not should be done. He renounces both. He gets detached from both, and as a result is freed from. And this happens. It can happen in one go, if you want. If you want, because at this very moment you are that infinite one. if you can gather enough conviction, faith, and are ready to let go in one instant, you are ready to go. Let go. Letting go means not you are, I let go of the world. It will not happen. Letting go only happens when you fall in love so intensely with the divine that you do not see anything but divine inside, outside, everywhere. Your mind. Then everything is let go. Then where is the place for such a person to do obligatory duties? To move away from forbidden duties or desire prompted activity? No time. He is detached from every damn thing. Then he does not get involved in either prescribed or prohibited actions, nitya namitika, and so is where the prescribed and kamya and nishiddha are the prohibited, and so is freed from mundane existence. Mundane existence, cyclical existence. Cyclical existence, don't think next life, that is too far away. Cyclical is waking, dream, deep sleep, waking, dream, deep sleep, waking, dream, deep sleep. Every day it is, isn't it? Cyclical existence, wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, wear my clothes. Oh my God, you just said you have to follow those duties. Such a person, he is exempted. Such a person who has become detached from them, he is exempted. You go to Naga Babas, you go to some saints and sages. I have gone to many yogis who have never taken bath in their life. But no stink. There's no stink. Walk around naked, but you don't feel awed in front of them. The society, the women folk of the society, they don't feel threatened by them because they are going around naked. Because they control, they are totally oblivious of their body, these avdhutas. See? But if someone like you and me go, then it is a problem. So here, mundane existence, just as one does not wish to place his foot in a stock made of even sandalwood, so he does not pay attention even out of fun to motivated action. No, let me help this fellow. Let me help them financially. Let me go and bless them. Let me, nothing like that. Nothing like that. He is not interested in any involvement. But we see Mahatmas functioning. We see Mahatmas functioning. Why? It is if someone else with respect, reverence asks them, then they are like mirrors. They perform. They do whatever is there. It happens out of them. It's not that they are doing it. It happens. So here he says, just as one does not wish to place his foot in a stock made of even sandalwood, so he does not pay attention even out of fun to motivated action. Then he dissolves the obligatory duties which he performs by the renunciation of their fruit and reaches the border of liberation. Border, threshold of liberation. How? By vairagya. Vairagya, when is discrimination possible? Discrimination is possible only when your mind has become calm to a certain extent. Mind will, what is mind? Why is mind not calm? Because it is having thoughts of the world. Why is it having thoughts of the world? Because you have got desires of the world. Your senses are not under control. Your mind is wanting to leak out of the senses into the world. But now you don't have a itch. Why? You are performing your duties. Initially you started performing your duties with full inspiration, without expectation of a result. Performing like that for some time purifies you. As a result of purification, the number of thoughts, number of desires in your mind start reducing. In that reduced traffic in your mind, you become available to discrimination, viveka. What is discrimination? Viveka is between the finite and the infinite. So, what is that constant principle within me which is unchanging? And what is it that is changing? Only when mind is calm, you become available to it. A busy mind is not available to it. And it is not, you have to be calm only. So that's why we give this exercise many times. Before going to sleep, you are available. Mind is naturally calm. When you wake up, mind is naturally calm. Apply it to discrimination. Who knows? Who is? Am I coming and going? Or am I the constant one? What is changing? You don't have to straight away come to the consciousness. Start from wherever your attention is. World is changing, eyes are not changing. Senses are changing, mind is not changing. Thoughts are changing, consciousness is not changing. Come back one by one by one. This is called Laya Prakriya. Dissolution of the gross into the subtle, subtle into the causal, causal into the infinite. Simple. But we have to remember, that's our problem. We don't remember. We don't remember. We repeat it, that's why we also enjoy. We keep repeating it. Someday it will click. Someday it will click. So, and reaches the border of liberation. In this way, he is released from good or bad affairs of worldly existence and acquires non-attachment, which is the threshold of liberation. Sukha dukkha samay krutva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yuddhyasva na shochati na kankshati. Sukha dukkhe, in joys and sorrows, he is equanimous, he is undisturbed. In gain and loss, he is undisturbed. In victory and defeat, he is undisturbed. Na shochati na kankshi, neither he aspires anything, neither he expects anything, neither he regrets anything. Shochati is regrets and kankshati is expects. Regrets are for the past, expectations for the future. See? So what is happening? He is in the center, undisturbed poise. This is not going to come just like that. You have to be in tune with your nature. To be in tune with the nature, you have to put the GPS on. The path, allow the path to reveal. Till the path reveals and you have the clarity of the path, hold on to the GPS, hold on to the destination. Keep feeding the destination again and again. How? By remembering the destination again and again. How do you do it? Ram, 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 Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om, 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 whatever is dear to you, whichever way you remember the divine. Maybe it's just silence, it's okay. It doesn't have to be a word. Silence, okay. But get in tune with it. Path will reveal clarity of where we are going wrong in our daily life. Where are we attached? Where we have taken the wrong turns. All that will reveal and it will again bring us back. Then we can make the correct decision. We can make the correction and come back to the path. Come back to be in tune with our nature. And nobody else can tell us. You have to assess yourself by, now you have understood Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You understand? Don't copy anyone. Don't take someone says, oh, I am doing japa. Achha, I will also do japa. Someone says, oh, I am studying Upanishads. I will also study Upanishads. And what are you good for? You are only good to take the spade and dig the ground. No japa required. So you see many masters in our country, they did not change their profession just because they were realized. They continued in their profession. Gora Kumbhar continued to be a potter. Namdev Maharaj continued to be initial stages, he continued to be a cobbler. Kabir Das, he continued to be a weaver. See, they didn't change their profession. Janak Maharaj, he continued to be the king. See, we don't have to change anything. Change, if you want to change, it is because you are comparing yourself to someone. Where you are comparing, you have allowed duality to enter into your mind. If you have allowed duality to enter, you have forgotten the God. You have forgotten the all-inclusive principle. You have forgotten the GPS. Continuing, how much time? हो जाएगा थोड़ा सा 900 हाँ जे सकळ भाग्याची सीमा मोक्ष लाभाची जे प्रमा नाना कर्म मार्ग श्रमा शेवटू जेथ मोक्ष फळे दिधली बोल जे सुकृत तुरुचे फूल तये वैरागी ठेव पाऊल भवरू जैसा पाही आत्मज्ञान सुदिनाचा वाधावा सांगतया अरुणाचा उदयोत्या वैराग्याचा ठावो पावे किंबहुना आत्मज्ञान जेणे हाताये निधान ते वैराग्य दिव्यांजन जीवेले तो ऐसी मोक्षाची योग्यता सिद्धी जाय तया पंडुसुता अनुसरोनी विहिता कर्मायया. He says this non-attachment is the boundary of his good fortune leading to liberation and is the culmination of all his labors in the path of action. If our performance in life is not leading to dispassion, is not leading to renunciation, vairagya, detachment, meaning in English, detachment, dispassion, renunciation, these are the stages in vairagya. If performance of action is not leading to detachment, to dispassion, to renunciation, then our performance of action is going wrong somewhere. Our performance of action is going wrong. Now don't come up with the excuse, but I have to take care of my children, I have to cook the food, I have to do this, I have to pick them up from school and leave them at uni and this and that and go vegetable shopping. This, all that is okay. Don't find excuses. Life has presented that, do it. Do it with joy. But all that must make us become aware on the emptiness of this creation. There is nothing in this creation that is going to give us satisfaction. So what is that? If this job is not going to give me satisfaction, that job is not going to give me this satisfaction, because it's just cyclical. One puja, I go to one's house because they want to do puja and chant one mantra, then 10 more call me. I am not meant for that, man. I don't have time for that. I go for one marriage tomorrow, no, another 5 will come. They come to my, why? It's a poster card, you know. Swamiji, a sannyasi came to my marriage. For some people, I'm not saying everyone. But I only go where I have to go. I don't go because people call me. See? So very quickly you get caught up in these things. From one thing it will lead to another. Then you will say, oh, I went to that person's house for food. Why should I not go to that person's house for puja? No, what will they feel? There's no time for feeling all this. No mushy business. I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Accept it or forget it. Don't talk to me, who cares? I didn't call you. See, your goal is not going to someone or satisfying their desires. Your goal is, your attention is on the GPS. In that path, if it falls, if it is possible, if it is naturally taking place, intuitively happening without ruffling any feathers, very good. to satisfy that, but it has to come from inside. It has to come from inside. Not because I have to. There's no I have to. So when they say here, where are we? This non-attachment is the boundary of his good fortune. So all activities that he was performing without expectation of a result with inspiration, if he performs it in this particular equation, in this sutra, it must lead to dispassion. And dispassion leads you to the doorway of liberation, the threshold of liberation. Why? You're just one step away. When your mind is totally free of anything in this world, you are totally udasin. Udasin means you are absolutely indifferent, disinterested with this world. Now, mind is empty. It can do two things. Either it can go to sleep, it will go to sleep. That is one option. If you have not trained your mind. Second is, it will go into meditation. But we don't want to go to sleep also, and we don't want to go into meditation also. What do we want to do? We want to remain awake with alertness, contemplating, allowing the mind to go to sleep. We must not go to sleep. So who is knowing that the mind was active, and who is knowing that the mind is sleeping? First stage, that will be there. If your attention is on the mind, you will go into samadhi. But if your attention is on the subject itself, then there is no question. So then you are asking this question. But that is the viveka. What is the constant principle? What is the changing principle? Oh, hey, yaar, I was just now watching, mind is becoming zero, and then there are thoughts, then there are no thoughts, then there are thoughts. Oh, so mind is also changing. But who knows this changing mind? I only. So I am the constant. I am the unchanging principle. Oh my God. If you come to this point, just as eyes cannot see themselves, you also cannot come to know yourself as a thought. But you must come to, this is the threshold. Till here, the dispassion will bring you to this viveka. When this viveka matures and nothing else corrupts it, over story. You get established in yourself without the thought, naturally, effortlessly, without doing anything. Without doing anything. And once you do it once you are established, then whether there is doingness, whether thinking is going on in the mind or not going on in the mind, it doesn't, you are still established in yourself. So, but all this was possible, why? Because you were in tune with your nature. You understand? That's where the topic is coming from. So, is the culmination of all his labors in the path of action. It is the flower of the tree in the form of good actions which makes certain the attainment of liberation, and the seeker gently places his foot on this flower like a bee. So in other words, you notice, you assess your life. What you did from childhood till you came into satsang. Till satsang, you became exposed to satsang. Or that auspicious day when you made the decision that I am going to attend satsangs, I am going to listen to satsangs. Before it was intermittent. See, even this satsang, now you are listening regularly, but many years ago, you would come only when Swamiji used to come. You are not coming regularly to the satsang. So when did it click? When did that commitment come inside naturally that I must dedicate myself to this truth, to this goal, to this realization? I must make it primary pursuit of my life. When did it come? It did not happen just from, yes, actually it happened one day to the next, but for that something correct. That's why you are here. Like, otherwise, many people they have known me for so many years, but they never came to satsang. They came after so many years. Why? They are not ready. See? So when he says that when it is the flower in the tree in the form of good action. So when we perform, what is good action? When we are in tune with our swabhava. Swabhava, your natural inclination. When we are performing them, we cannot go wrong. Where are we? Good actions which make certain the attainment of liberation. Only by performing the natural actions that you find yourself in tune with will become conducive to bringing you to the threshold of liberation, bringing you to that cusp, bringing you to that point where you are ready to give up everything. Every night you think of sleep. After this class, maybe you will have dinner or you have had your dinner, you will sit around some time, then eventually you will go tomorrow working day. Oh, so you will go to bed early. So you go to bed early, what do you think? Sleep, sleep, sleep. All actions are dictated by the thought of sleep. See? And you eventually surrender to sleep. Replace it with the Lord, replace it with silence, replace it with Om, replace it with wakefulness, replace it with what is that constant who is ever awake in spite of mind being awake or asleep. Who is that? That I am. Why am I? Oh, yeah. But we keep flipping in and out of the mind. So slow down, slow down. How do you slow down? Perform your duties correctly. So in this manner, this non-attachment is like the dawn which heralds the sunrise in the form of self-realization. It is the so now he is giving some examples. It is the dawn. Where is this dawn? Is the dawn separate from the sunrise? No, it is the light of the sun only. But it appears even before the sun is seen, isn't it? Dawn is the daylight, early morning light, which is seen even before you see the orb of the sun. Exactly the same way. Here he is saying this non-attachment, this dispassion, this vairagya, this disinterestedness, this indifferent attitude towards the world is the dawn before the arrival of the sun or self-realization. It is the divine collyrium that shows him the buried treasure in the form of self-knowledge, and he applies it wholeheartedly to his inward eye in this way. It is the collyrium. Collyrium is what? Kajal. What does it do? Firstly, it beautifies your eye. Second, what does it do? Cleans your eye. See? It purifies your eye. So, as collyrium purifies you are applying collyrium to your inner eye. So that the inner eye, meaning the mind, it becomes purified. So that it becomes beautiful. Meaning, how does mind become beautiful? By becoming all inclusive, by becoming dedicated to the divine, by surrendering, by cultivating vairagya towards what? Towards the world, towards the thoughts, towards the emotions, towards the past, towards the future. In other words, towards the world, individual or total. That is the beauty of the mind. In this way, Arjuna, by performing prescribed actions, he makes himself worthy for the attainment of liberation. 905. 906 we start in our next class. So, what is the topic under discussion? Topic under discussion is get in tune with first feed in the GPS. Meaning, GPS is your mind. The path is also in the mind. The destination also is in the mind only. But you have to feed it into it, no? Just like in your phone, in your app, you have to put in the address. Then the path becomes clear. Have you put in the address where you want to go in your mind? Are you clear? If you are not clear, read the scriptures, whatever you heard today. Oh, Vairagya. Okay, I want to get to Vairagya state, which is the thread, which is the closest I can understand right now to liberation. So how do I get to Vairagya? How do I get to the indifferent, what do you call, dispassionate state, non-attached state? Okay, start working backwards. Start working backwards. So you have fed the destination, now it will fall. Perform your duties without results. So in this manner, here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is stressing the point of each one in Varnashram to perform his or her prescribed duties according to either they are Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and being Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whether they are in Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, there also Brahmachari must follow that particular. If he is a Brahmin, if he is a Brahmachari, he must perform in a particular way. If he is a Grahastha, he must perform in a particular way, and so each one. And by doing that, by being in tune with your natural inclinations, without expecting a result, one becomes detached to the world. By being detached to the world, initially gross, eventually subtle, eventually causal. Same thing when you do the chanting the name of the Lord. We saw in Amrutanubhav, Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Para. Speech is also action. So you are performing. What are you performing? Action. What is the action? Chanting the name of the Lord. It goes to Madhyama, subtle, Pashyanti, causal, and Para, beyond the three. See? So this is a perfect technology that has been presented to us. Question is, the onus is on us whether we implement it in our life and bless ourselves. I bless myself. Bless ourselves. By putting it into action, it will become your natural action only when we are convinced of what we have just heard. When you make it a deep conviction, I don't know how, oh Lord, you make it happen for me. With deep faith, surrender, and reverence, you pray to the Lord. He will make it happen for you. But then there should be no laziness in performing it. Om Purnamada